And I think Pastor Paul is live too. So when I get off of here, I'm going to go over there. But I just wanted to let you know I'm here. I'm getting my 4th day of infusions. As you can see, I'm all hooked up and ready to go. And yeah, I'm still a little tired today. We had that weather front that came in yesterday. Thankfully, it wasn't as bad as it said it was going to be. So really didn't have to fight with the ice today. So that was good. I did want to talk a minute about a disturbing news item that I saw. Apparently, there's a military militia gang, whatever you want to call it, called M23 that is going around in the Congolese, and they attacked a town called Gomer. They're an extension of Rwanda, and they keep taking land. And in this city that they attacked on January 27th, but more of the information is coming out today, more clarification of the information. And the reason I'm very upset is what happened is they went in and they released all the prisoners from a jail, 4,000 prisoners, but there was a women's section of the prison and 100 women were there. They went in and raped all 100 women and then put them all on fire. The women did not survive. They ended up all dying. And it's just a horrific, horrific scene, what happened, but especially the women in the prison, but the whole scene of the whole city. And it said that this M23 militia gang is headed towards another city as well. Now, when I started looking more up about this M23, apparently they've been in the news for the whole last year, and they've been doing horrendous things. They actually put children in mortar and pestle grinders back in April of last year, and they were in the news then. And they're just horrific and sadistic, and they've been on the UN human rights peacekeeping radar for a while. They are being funded, apparently somehow through Rwandan forces. Money that's supposed to go to Rwanda forces ends up trickling down to them. So it's just really terrible how this ends up happening. It gets into their hands and they go through and just terrorize cities. So yeah, apparently Marco Rubio did know about the attack on January 27th and immediately spoke up and said that the U.S. was very upset about this. Again, the initial information about the horrendous things that happened in the city are just now getting to the surface because guess what? They have control of the city and they have control of what information gets to come out of the city. So it's just terrible. And the reason that I stumbled across this is because I've been working on my book, Tamar's Robe, that I've been trying to get out actually for several years. And Tamar's Robe deals with the rape of Tamar, King David's daughter, which happens in 2 Samuel 13. And I've been digging deeply. And we were talking to some people about things started happening in my body about 6 months ago. Started having all these issues with my sugars. Some of you know, you hear my alarms going off. My sugars, I don't have high sugars, I have low sugars. I have hypoglycemia. And my sugars started having a lot of problems. Now you see that I'm having this problem with my blood, my anemia, which I've had a problem with my blood, but it's gotten worse. So everything started getting worse in my body. Something clicked about 6 months ago. Well, I was talking to a friend, and they were like, well, isn't that when you started getting Tamar's Robe ready to be published, and I'm like, does make sense. Well, Tamar's Robe deals with women's issues like this, and they're, as you can see, they're pretty, you know, deep issues, and so, you know, I don't always, I don't really attune to the fact of spiritual warfare necessarily going along with illness, because I am a nurse and I am more science-based. But in this case, it could be stressing my body because it's a lot of really deep information that I'm digging into, and so that could be. So a lot of prayers going up for that. And with that, I'd like to introduce you to this book, The Silence of the Girls. It, the reason I got hooked on this book is on October the 8th, the day after the October the 7th, not this October the 8th, October 8th a year ago now, the day after the attack in Israel, I started reading this page out of this book, and I was like, oh my gosh. And finally, at the end of the page, I thought I was reading about what happened in Israel. What I was reading was a page out of this book, which is what happened to the women of Troy. It's in the Trojan horse. Remember that war? That was over 1,000 years ago. That's out of the Iliad. Well, this woman, Pat Barker, she took the Iliad and she took the women's stories out of the Iliad and wrote a trilogy. This is one of the trilogy of Pat Barker's books, The Silence of the Girls. And that's what got me started down this road, is because 1,000 years later, there's no difference in how the women are being treated when war comes through. And you see here, today I'm still reading another story, and it's over a year and a half later what's happened in Israel. We're still seeing the same horrific way that women are being treated in war. And so that's partly what my book is about, but really the rest of what the book about is how women survive these situations, and not only survived but ended up thriving. So watch for that. I'm working on it diligently, and it will come out. I want it to be completed in March so that hopefully it can be published by May, when I'm doing a women's conference in Ogden, Utah. And hopefully maybe you guys can come to Ogden, Utah to see the women's conference by Judy Hoffman. We do it every year. It's Women Warriors in Christ. And put that on your calendar. It's May 3rd. And hopefully we'll see you there. Hello from Tulsa. All right. So also stop in for the prayer conference, prayer summit that we're having Sunday at 2 o'clock. And then also you can sign up for Pastor Paul. Is going to be doing teaching on his book, Revelation 9:11. So he's going to break it down and do a teaching later on this month, February 22nd. So a lot of things coming up. And I thank you all for your prayers for me while I'm getting some of this iron. A lot of you guys are saying, hope I'm feeling better already. It is going to take a while for this iron to do its job and my blood to respond to it. So not feeling really good yet, but hopefully it'll take a little bit, and I'll be getting back on the road again. All right. So love you guys, and keep all this in prayer. All right. God bless.